The smell of lilies mixed with smoke as I watched 15 years of my career burn in the funeral home's parking lot. My sister Victoria stood there, her black designer dress pristine despite the act of arson she'd just committed, mascara tears streaming down her face, not for our mother, but for her own jealousy. "You don't deserve that VP position," she hissed, tossing another folder onto the pyre she'd made of my professional portfolio. "Mom always said I was the smart one. I should have gotten that promotion." I stood perfectly still, hands folded, watching years of campaigns, awards, and client testimonials turn to ash on the asphalt. Behind us, mourners were still filtering out of our mother's service, some stopping to stare at the spectacle Victoria was creating. "Victoria," I said calmly, "Mom's been gone for 3 hours. Could we maybe wait a day before you destroy my life's work?" She laughed, ugly and bitter. "Life's work? You mean the job you stole from me? I'm the one who introduced you to marketing. I'm the one who got you that first internship." That was Victoria's version of history. The truth was she'd tried to sabotage my internship interview 15 years ago, telling me the wrong time so I'd miss it. I'd only gotten the job because I'd called to confirm and discovered her lie. "Are you done?" I asked, pulling out my phone to check the time. "The reception starts in 20 minutes. Give me your recommendation letter," she demanded, holding out her hand. "The one from the CEO. I know you have it with you. You carry that stupid portfolio everywhere." I reached into my bag and pulled out the sealed envelope, my recommendation for the vice president of marketing position at Morrison Associates, one of the biggest firms in the city, the job we'd both applied for, the job I'd gotten. Victoria snatched it from my hand and fed it to the flames with a triumphant smile. "There, now we're even. You can call them Monday and explain that you lost their precious letter. Maybe they'll reconsider their choice." Our cousin Beth approached cautiously. "What's happening here? Is everything okay?" "Just a little family business," Victoria said sweetly, her funeral persona snapping back into place. "Emma was helping me burn some of Mom's old papers. Therapeutic, you know?" Beth looked at the burning portfolios, clearly recognizing professional documents, then at me. I gave her a small smile and shrugged. She backed away, confused but not wanting to get involved in our drama. Monday morning, Victoria continued once Beth was gone. "I'm calling Morrison myself, telling them exactly what kind of person they hired, how you manipulated your way up, stole credit for my ideas, probably slept your way to that promotion." "None of that is true," I said mildly. "Truth doesn't matter," she smirked. "Doubt does, and once I'm done, they'll have plenty of doubts about their new VP. I looked at my sister, 2 years older, infinitely more bitter, and felt something I hadn't expected: pity. She'd spent so much time trying to tear me down that she'd never built herself up. While she schemed and sabotaged, I'd worked. While she spread rumors, I'd earned results. "Okay," I said simply, "do what you need to do." Her face faltered. She'd expected me to fight, to cry, to beg. That's what the old Emma would have done. But the old Emma hadn't spent 6 months preparing for exactly this moment. "That's it?" she sputtered. "You're just going to let me?" "We should get to the reception," I interrupted. "Aunt Linda will be worried if we're late." I walked away, leaving her standing next to the smoldering remains of my portfolio. Behind me, I heard her shriek of frustration, but I didn't turn back. I had a room full of family to comfort, stories about Mom to share, and a plan to execute. The reception was held at Mom's favorite restaurant, the one where she'd celebrated every milestone. I moved through the crowd, accepting condolences, sharing memories, being the daughter everyone expected. Victoria arrived 30 minutes later, her dress now marked with ash, her carefully constructed image cracking. "Beautiful service," our mother's best friend, Dorothy, said to me. "Your eulogy was perfect. You captured her spirit exactly." "Unlike some people who didn't even speak," Victoria muttered, inserting herself into our conversation. Dorothy's eyes cooled. "Well, not everyone can find the words during grief," she said pointedly, then turned back to me. "Your mother was so proud of your promotion, dear. She called me last week, couldn't stop talking about her daughter the VP." Victoria's face darkened. She was confused at the end. "The medications." She was perfectly lucid. Dorothy cut her off, sharp as ever. "She even said," she paused, looking at Victoria with something like pity. "She said she hoped Victoria would finally find her own path instead of following Emma's shadow." My sister walked away without another word. Dorothy patted my arm. "I shouldn't have said that, but your mother worried about her jealousy. She made me promise to look out for you." That evening, after everyone had gone home and the flowers had been distributed, I sat in my apartment and opened my laptop. Everything Victoria had burned existed in digital form. backed up in triplicate, but that wasn't what I was looking for. I opened a folder labeled Family Videos and clicked on a file dated 6 months ago. My mother's face filled the screen, thin from illness but eyes still bright. "Emma, honey, if you're watching this, it means I'm gone and Victoria has done something dramatic. I know my daughters." I smiled through fresh tears, hearing her voice again. "I need to tell you something I should have said years ago," Mom continued. "Victoria isn't jealous of your success, she's terrified of her own failure. Every achievement of yours highlights what she hasn't done, and instead of working harder, she works to tear you down." The video continued for 20 minutes. Mom detailed instances I'd forgotten: Victoria stealing my college application essays, sabotaging my relationships, spreading rumors at every job I'd ever had, things I'd dismissed or never connected. "But here's what she doesn't know," Mom said, leaning closer to the camera. "I've been documenting everything, every lie, every scheme, every act of sabotage. It's all in a safety deposit box at First National. Keys in my jewelry box, in the hidden compartment. Use it if you need to protect yourself." The video ended with Mom saying she loved me, that she was proud of me, that I should live my life free from Victoria's shadow. I sat in the dark for a long time after, processing. Monday morning arrived gray and drizzling. I dressed carefully in my best suit, the one Victoria had tried to accidentally spill wine on at last year's Christmas party. I arrived at Morrison Associates an hour early, just as I'd planned. Emma, the receptionist, Keisha, greeted me warmly. "Congrats again on the promotion, though," she lowered her voice. "HR called an emergency meeting. Your sister's been calling all morning, making some serious accusations." "I know," I said calmly. "Is conference room A set up?" "Yeah, but the meeting's not until." "I need to prepare something. Can you send them in when they arrive?" She nodded, confused but trusting. I'd built relationships here during my final interviews, something Victoria never understood the value of. In the conference room, I set up my laptop and pulled out a small box, the contents of Mom's safety deposit box, retrieved on Saturday. Then I sat and waited. They filed in at exactly 9 a.m. David Morrison, CEO, Patricia Hernandez, head of HR, Janet Wu, legal, and Thomas Garrett, my future direct report. Their faces were serious, concerned. "Emma," David began, "we've received some troubling communications from your sister, accusations of resume fraud, ethical violations, even," he paused uncomfortably, "suggestions of inappropriate relationships to secure advancement." "I know," I said. "Victoria promised she'd do this. She announced it at our mother's funeral on Friday, right after she burned my portfolio in the parking lot." They exchanged glances. Patricia pulled out her phone. She sent videos. "Emma, what appears to be security footage of you." "May I?" I interrupted politely. "I'd like to show you something first. It might save time." David nodded slowly. I connected my laptop to the screen and pulled up a file labeled Victoria Chen, Pattern of Defamation. "For the past 10 years, I began," clicking to the first slide. "My sister has systematically attempted to sabotage my career. What you're about to see is comprehensive documentation of her efforts, including falsified evidence, forged emails, and yes, doctored security footage." The first video played, security footage from my previous company showing Victoria breaking into my office after hours, accessing my computer. The timestamp showed it was the night before I was accused of sending inappropriate emails to clients. Emails I'd proven were sent from my terminal while I was demonstrably at a conference 3 states away. "This is from Stryker Marketing. 5 years ago," I explained. "She nearly got me fired until IT proved the emails were sent using a spoofing program downloaded that night." The room was silent. I clicked to the next slide. "This is a cease and desist order from Brennan Industries. 3 years ago, after Victoria impersonated me in emails to their board suggesting I was planning to steal trade secrets. Here's the forensic analysis proving the emails originated from her IP address." For 30 minutes, I laid out a decade of harassment, sabotage, and defamation, police reports, legal documents, sworn affidavits from former colleagues who'd witnessed her behavior. The stack of evidence Mom had compiled was thorough and damning. "And this," I said, pulling up the final video, "is from Friday afternoon." The funeral home's security footage showed Victoria stealing my portfolio from my car, setting it on fire in the parking lot while I stood and watched. The audio was clear, every threat, every admission of her plans to destroy my reputation at Morrison. "Why didn't you stop her?" Janet asked, her legal mind clearly spinning. "Because I knew she would escalate," I replied. "Victoria has always counted on me backing down. staying quiet to preserve family harmony. I needed her to finally cross a line that couldn't be ignored or explained away. The videos she sent us, Patricia said slowly, the ones that show you are deepfakes. I finished. Good ones, but deepfakes nonetheless. I've already had a digital forensics expert analyze them. His report is in your inbox, along with a tutorial showing exactly how Victoria created them using publicly available software and photos from my social media. Thomas, who'd been quiet throughout, finally spoke. You knew this was coming. You prepared for it. My mother warned me, I said simply. She spent her final months documenting Victoria's behavior because she knew it would escalate after she was gone. She was right. David leaned back in his chair, studying me. What do you want to do about this, Emma? I closed my laptop and met his eyes. I want to work. I want to build brilliant campaigns, mentor junior staff, and help this company grow. What I don't want is to spend my energy constantly defending myself against a sister who sees my success as her failure. We could pursue legal action, Janet offered. Defamation, harassment, cybercrimes. I've already filed for a restraining order, I said, pulling out the paperwork, and my attorney sent her a comprehensive cease and desist this morning. If she continues, we'll prosecute, but I'm hoping it doesn't come to that. Patricia's phone buzzed. She looked at it and her eyebrows rose. She's here, in the lobby, demanding to be let up for this meeting. We all turned to look at the conference room's glass walls. Sure enough, we could see the elevator doors opening. Victoria stepped out, dressed in her best power suit, carrying a box of what I assumed was more evidence. Should I call security? Patricia asked. No, I said, standing. Let me handle this. I met her at the reception desk where she was arguing with Keisha. Emma, she spotted me, her face lighting up with malicious glee. Perfect timing. I have so much to share with your new employers. They've seen everything. I cut her off calmly. Your deepfakes, your doctored emails, all of it. They've also seen the security footage of you burning my portfolio while admitting you planned to destroy my career. Her face went white. You filmed me? The funeral home's security cameras filmed you. I just requested the footage. I stepped closer, lowering my voice. It's over, Victoria. You've lost. This isn't fair, she shrieked, causing heads to turn throughout the office. You always get everything, the grades, the jobs, Mom's approval. I earned those things, I said firmly. While you spent your energy trying to tear me down, I spent mine building up. That's the difference between us. I'll ruin you, she snarled. I'll go to every company in the city. No, you won't. I pulled out my phone, showing her an email. This is from Janet Wu, Morrison's head counsel. One more defamatory statement and you'll be facing criminal charges. One more fake video and you'll be prosecuted for cybercrimes. One more attempt to contact my employer and a restraining order goes into effect. Victoria's hands shook as she read. Behind me, I sensed David and the others watching from the conference room. You planned this, she whispered. No, I corrected. Mom planned this. She saw what you were becoming and she protected me the only way she could, with the truth. Every lie you told, every scheme you hatched, she documented. She loved you, Victoria, but she wouldn't let you destroy me. She chose you, Victoria said, tears finally falling. Even dead, she chose you. She chose both of us, I said gently. She left you the house, her investments, her jewelry collection, things that could give you a fresh start if you'd stop obsessing over what I have. For a moment, I saw something crack in Victoria's armor, the scared, insecure girl who'd always felt second best. Then it was gone, replaced by familiar hatred. This isn't over, she said, but the threat was hollow now. Yes, it is. I turned to go, then looked back one last time. Get help, Victoria. Use Mom's money for therapy instead of schemes. Find your own path instead of trying to destroy mine. I walked back to the conference room where my new colleagues waited. Through the glass, we watched Victoria leave, her box of fake evidence clutched uselessly to her chest. Well, David said after a moment, that was certainly an interesting first day. I'm sorry for the drama, I began, but he held up a hand. Don't apologize. You handled a difficult situation with grace and preparation. Those are exactly the qualities we need in a VP, he smiled, though maybe we should upgrade your office security, just in case. The meeting dispersed with handshakes and words of support. Patricia lingered, studying me with new respect. That must have been painful, she said, watching your sister burn your work. I thought about it, about the moment I'd watched 15 years of achievements turn to ash. You know what? It wasn't, because I realized something standing there, those papers were just symbols. The real work, the campaigns I created, the relationships I built, the skills I developed, those can't be burned. That afternoon, I settled into my new office, corner view, executive furniture, everything I'd worked toward. On my desk, I placed a single photo, Mom and me at my college graduation, both of us beaming with pride and possibility. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. I almost deleted it, assuming it was Victoria on a new phone, but something made me open it. "This is Dr. Sarah Chen from Riverside Therapy Center. Your mother was my patient. She left instructions to contact you after her passing. She prepaid for family counseling sessions, hoping you and your sister might someday heal your relationship. The door is open whenever you're both ready." I saved the number, though I doubted Victoria would ever be ready, but Mom had hoped, even at the end, maybe someday. For now, I had work to do, real work, not defending against sabotage or documenting harassment, just the pure joy of creating something brilliant. I opened my laptop and began sketching out my first campaign as VP. Outside my window, the rain had stopped, and sunlight broke through the clouds. It felt like a sign: storms pass, fires burn out, but what's real endures. Victoria had been right about one thing: I did have everything. I'd earned every bit of it.